Welcome to the Bounty Zero X podcast. I'm your host, Angelo Adam, founder and CEO of Bounty Zero X. Bounty Zero X is a decentralized bounty hunting network powered by the BNTY token. Today's June 7th, 2018, and my guest on the show is Monica Puchner. Monica is the CEO and co-founder of HiLo. HiLo is the first social media platform for crypto asset enthusiasts where users reward one another for great content and also with user-controlled platform governance. Monica is CEO and co-founder of HiLo and also partner and curator of Node Worldwide. Prior to that, she was vice president of business development at CleverTap and vice president of sales and business development at Tixer, as well as senior director at Vendini and sales manager at Palm. So, Monica, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So tell us a little bit about HiLo. What is the project all about and what are you guys working on?
Yeah, so HiLo we founded in October of 2017, really started development in January. We now have about 20 people working on building out the vision for HiLo. And HiLo really was born from the need, which many of us have as we start investing in crypto and learning about crypto, the need for learning about different projects and getting authentic content from the crowd and from the wisdom of the crowd, from your friends, through other influencers. Back in a couple years ago, I read a book called The Internet of Money by Andreas Antonopoulos, and that really was the jumping off point in terms of my interest in cryptocurrency. From there, I went down the rabbit hole and realized that there was not a great platform for people to get into crypto. There were a lot of platforms to start investing, such as Coinbase. Now we have Robinhood and some others. But how could we start distilling what people thought about different coins and tokens, what these tokens were used for in different ecosystems, and how could we partner to provide a better social platform in the future? And part of that was, focusing on privacy and building an ecosystem to support decentralized technology and decentralized social networks in the future.
So you guys are already pretty far along in the development of the platform. So tell us where you are in terms of project development.
Yeah, we are pretty far along. We are launching a closed beta here in the next couple of weeks, where we'll onboard a small subset of users to give us feedback, and we'll take those comments and build them into the product. Our platform is kind of web first, and we are a responsive platform, so you can visit us on any mobile device and also via web. And then we are looking to expand with certain partnerships, and we provide incentives in our platform for those partnerships. So one example of that is we do have a login with Civic, which allows you to authenticate you as a user upon login, and we incentivize that behavior through the HiLo token. Our token will be launched most likely at the end of July, early August, and our platform will be live at that point.
So for listeners out there who want to sign up for the beta and join the testing of the platform, has the sign up open for that yet?
The sign up is open. You can go to hilo.io and sign up for our whitelist and also our beta. And we'll be doing some fun things in the future, such as grab your handle at HiLo, things to get users onboarded into the ecosystem, both in the US and globally. And then we're looking at expanding our footprint internationally and also having some localization built in the product as well. So for Asia and Europe, and other territories, we want to make sure that HiLo is a global platform for everyone in the world. So we're looking to expand that and build in features that are unique to different core audiences.
So when the platform launches the beta, there will be a number of core features that are part of it, but then there will also be additional features which you'll be rolling out with each subsequent release. So one of those features is the leaderboard and the social graph. So for example, the social graph is a way for users to discuss various other tokens on the platform. And why is that important? What does the ability to discuss other tokens do, and why is that a nice feature for users?
Yeah, I think when it came down to it, when I started investing in cryptocurrency, it was extraordinarily overwhelming. A lot of the places that you would invest in crypto looked like day trading terminals, and very hard for somebody that wasn't in crypto to understand. And so I would get a lot of questions on Facebook and LinkedIn and all these social networks and over email, just asking me about different platforms, different tokens, different coins, how they work, what was the technology behind them, what were these different protocols about. And I've just found it so overwhelming to kind of teach people these one by one. And it was extraordinarily time consuming. And that was one of the things that people had a problem with. They said the feedback was, I don't really have time to learn or invest time into learning about this entire ecosystem. And so part of our vision and part of the goal of the platform is to provide that kind of educational experience per token or per coin. So each individual token has a card where you can learn more about that crypto, both from a social engagement layer with your friends and other influencers within the platform, and also from a knowledge perspective. So how do you, with these coin cards, how can you distill these projects into layman's terms so that anyone can have access and anyone can open the door and share that knowledge with each other? So the social engagement layer is really interesting. And then from a price perspective, as an investment, a lot of the marketplace is largely driven by sentiment. So how do you capture that and stamp it together with price on a platform? So the social graph is very visual. You can scrub over it and see at any point in time what people are saying, whether there's regulations coming out and that might change the price, or if a product is launching new features and that will engage with the community, then that might move the price. So how do you kind of capture that within each token and layer? So there's an educational component and a social component that kind of go into that to help people understand these technologies.
So let's say, for example, that I'm a user of the platform and I think that this project A, is a good project and that, in my opinion, the price would increase or decrease. I could then, on the platform, make an announcement of some kind, and other users on the platform would be able to follow me and see the announcements that I make. And then based off of that, use my knowledge or my opinion to then make decisions of their own or learn about things, other companies of their own. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. So a lot of this is, I think some projects in crypto have done a really good job with this. I think Steemit is one that rewards users with tokens for content and contributing to their platform. We see a lot of learnings from that in terms of how can we drive user behavior on our platform when it comes to price and also knowledge share. So if somebody creates comments on the platform, those are incentivized in terms of commenting on the graph. If people want to follow other users, users can create a bounty and they can follow their wish list of tokens. So what tokens they may be tracking, and also their portfolio. So what's the spread of their portfolio? What do they have? What have they invested in versus what are they watching, which I think is pretty important. So people can follow me, follow other users, and see what's really interesting to them from a technology perspective, and then also what they're investing in. So what they put their money behind and what they want to see flourish. So those are the kind of a couple ways users can get incentives in the platform. So those will be built in at launch. In terms of what we're building in the future and what we love to build in the future in terms of our ecosystem is build on top of that more incentives and more behaviors that will lead to discovery of different projects. And so one of those that we're building in the future is this idea of fantasy crypto. So how can users really start to understand how to trade in the marketplace without actually using money for that? So how can they do it in a fun way where they can see the volatility of the markets and the tokens without necessarily investing? So we want to actually kind of entertain and contribute to people like learning about these projects, but also learning how to trade within our platform. And in the future, we're also thinking about how do we build in the ability for private messaging in groups. And so building upon those core components, but at launch, we'll have quite a bit of product for people to play with and incentives built in the network for people to, kind of earn HiLo tokens as they go.
So tell me about the leaderboard. So the leaderboard is going to be what exactly?
Yeah, so the leaderboard will be a place where people can see where if they made any signals or calls on the platform, if they've been right. So it'll be a leaderboard that's kind of gamified within the system where you can play with your friends or kind of play along with your friends and see who can gain kind of leadership or leader share on the platform. So you can have as a user one call per token. So let's say I'm on the platform and I'm like, okay, that the SEC is coming down with more regulations. I think Bitcoin is going to go down. So I can make a call on that comment. And then we actually track those comments and we pull those into a leaderboard where you can play amongst your friends.
Is there any reward or incentive that users get if they're at the top of the leaderboard relative to other users?
There will be incentives built in the entire platform. In terms of if you get incentives, if you win amongst your friends, we are still working out what those incentives will be. We have a lot of gamification incentives that we're building above and beyond even just the token. So really fun things like avatar rewards and, hey, they're the queen of the leaderboard. So they get this special avatar. So there's all these other incentives that we're building in that relate to both the HiLo token and then also other incentives that are kind of gamified layers that we're building in for users to have that authority within the platform.
And what are some upcoming dates that are important? So you mentioned that you have the launch of the beta platform, and that is when exactly?
Yeah, so we're launching the beta. It's a closed beta, so that will be most likely June 15th, which is coming up next week. That is a subset of power users. And so we've identified user experience experts, technologists, and our investors to kind of come in and give us a really detailed feedback so that we can go back and iterate on the product if needed before we're ready for our live beta launch. The live beta launch, which will be open and accessible to all, most likely will be at the end of July, is what we're tracking for. So the people that sign up now for the beta program, we're going to take them in order of sign up, and we'll be onboarding new users in groups of 100 starting around that time frame.
And then you're also having a token sale and an ICO. And when is that planned for?
Yes, we are having a token sale and ICO. Our token sale is planned for early August, end of July is the plan right now. And so users that also sign up for a whitelist and beta on HiLo.io will have access to more information on timing of that release or token sale and what we're looking to raise.
So there's also the ability on the platform to, in addition to the leaderboard, to identify important people within the community who have high reputation and are trusted by many people, or who just have a lot of knowledge, or who have a track record of success. They're on the platform, they're called influencers. So you have this distinction between regular users who are on the platform and then upgraded users who are influencers. What is the difference, and how does one go from a regular user to an influencer on the platform?
Yeah, so we have regular users and influencers. So regular users, the platform's going to be open to all. Once you have connected an exchange and start building out some of the content pieces, so if you make comments on the graph regularly, those become more of our power users and our influencers. So maybe you've connected a couple of exchanges, you have holdings within your wallets, and then you also are providing content or comments on the graph. Then you become kind of the influencers within the platform. And then we make other considerations too. So if you have a large group of users or followers on other networks, those can be considered influencers that we can bring in to HiLo. So we kind of see that are two variables to that. As we're a brand new platform, you may have influence on a different platform, and that may be a consideration to be an influencer here. So it's somebody who has a large network or following that is bringing them to HiLo, and then also is contributing to HiLo. So there's a couple of ways you can become an influencer on the platform.
So would that be like if I have a large number of Twitter followers, like 100,000, can you then import those Twitter followers or integrate your Twitter account with your HiLo account? And will there be a way to like display the number of followers you have on various social media accounts in your HiLo account? And then will there be a way to overlap data from external platforms onto the, let's say, like the social graph or a price chart of a token?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. And I actually haven't thought about integrating the follower account from other networks, although that's certainly something that we can do in the future. Right now, the follower account would be on HiLo. So you can build up kind of your reputation or influencer reputation on HiLo by bringing people to follow you on the platform. Now, in terms of building in other pieces from other social networks, comments, even signals or sentiment into our price graphs, that is something that we are building in the future. So for instance, one example would be if somebody hashtagged HiLo crypto within their tweet, we can pull in that data into HiLo. So hashtags, we can most certainly do. We can also, I've had a couple questions from other projects in the past where they want to bring in other signal data to HiLo, to the dashboard of certain coins. And that's something that we're considering for the future too. So future iterations, we've built out the backend infrastructure so that we can actually have multiple layers, not just social, but multiple layers of signals within the platform.
So tell me about the integrated exchange piece. So what does that consist of? If I'm a user, can I trade through the HiLo platform, or do I still need to go to an external website in order to trade?
Yeah, so HiLo will not have trading. So you will have to go to an external website for trading. Now, if you want to aggregate your entire portfolio, let's say you use Coinbase and GDAX, and now it's the same product, but Gemini and Bittrex and some of these other larger trading terminals, you can most certainly aggregate those trades or that data into our portfolio. And we'll also have support for wallets as well. So you can aggregate that information if you want to kind of have one pure view of your portfolio. We at launch will have about 90 different APIs with exchanges that you can link into our portfolio module, but you cannot actually facilitate trades through our platform. So you will have to go through another platform, but we do aggregate that. It looks beautiful. You can track all your trades. And then we also have this capability called the Vault, and the HiLo Vault will actually kind of decouple our social data from your transaction history. And we do that via PIN. So if somebody was trying to compromise our data in any way, we are protected, and we protect each person down to the user level. So you are, as the user, Angelo, are the only person that can actually connect those two pieces together. And so that vault acts as a protective or privacy layer that we're building in and we'll have at launch. And we're also able with the vault to now aggregate 90 different exchanges. So we'll have that ability or capability at launch as well.
If I have an Ethereum wallet and it has 10 or 15 tokens in it, and what I could do is I could watch that wallet in HiLo, and then would it show all the tokens that are in that wallet as my portfolio? And then it would show the percentage of my portfolio as it's comprised of all of these different tokens. Is that how it works? Would that data be displayed so I could import like an Ethereum address or an address that has tokens in it, and then it would display the tokens that are held in that address?
Yes. So similarly, if you're connecting your credit card, it'll ping your credit card with let's say $1 to make sure that's to authenticate that you, the user, are using that credit card. We'll do that with your Ethereum wallet address. And so we can authenticate that it is actually your wallet. And then we can aggregate all your data from all of the exchanges that you use as well. And so you have all of that in one platform and one portfolio. And then from there, you can choose as a user to share what your spread of tokens are. So let's say you have 15 tokens in your wallet or on exchanges, and you have 50% of that in Bitcoin and 20% in Ethereum. And then you have some other tokens or you have a small percentage in. So we can actually capture that in your portfolio. And then you can choose to share that you have that spread with your network or with your friends. So you can say, Monica, I'd like to unlock your portfolio and see what you are holding. And so you as a user can unlock your portfolio and share that with the people that follow you. Similarly, you can share your watch list or your wish list. So for a lot of people, they want to know, oh, what are you holding? It's certainly the spread is shared amongst others and on different platforms, because for the first time, we're seeing finance be social. And so how do we, as HiLo, provide a platform that enables those capabilities? How do you share what you're doing, share your trading with the world or with your followers, should you choose to do so? So yes, exactly. So we'll have the ability to kind of import both.
So there's a feature on the website where you can message other users and also send out group messages to a number of different users. So tell me how that works. So like there's one-to-one messaging where a user can message an influencer or vice versa or another user and say, I thought that was a really good point you raised, or that's a good comment, or ask them a question about why they think something about a certain stock or a certain token. So there'll be messaging where you can send messages to individual users, but then also send messages to groups of users. In exchange, you can do that by using HiLo tokens. So how does that work, and what are the details around how many tokens it takes and to send a message to a group of users?
Yeah, so in that way, we're kind of empowering the users to stake whatever they want to earn. So they actually are the ones that are going to stake the value. And then should the network agree to that value that's valid, then you would add users or they would pay in HiLo tokens to join that group. In terms of what we're going to have at launch is the ability to message individual traders. So for example, if I was on the Bitcoin price graph and I could scrub over it and see a comment that Monica made about Bitcoin, I could actually directly message Monica within the Bitcoin central card. And that would show up in the activity feed for Bitcoin, and it also show up in your main activity feed on the dashboard. So you'll be able to see things like, oh, Monica, who Monica's now following, what comments she's made. Also in my profile, I can see a history of comments made. And then the messaging is actually a separate component, but definitely a core component that we'll be adding in the ability to do private group messaging in the future, where you can stake a bounty and people can join that private chat channel. So there is a bunch of different messaging components built around HiLo, and then some core components that will be built in the future, such as private group messaging.
And I take it there's also, so the first you mentioned is there's first going to be the web application, and then there's also plans for the iOS and Android applications as well.
Yes. Yeah. We are doing web first. There's a couple of different reasons for that, but we really wanted to crystallize the experience before building native apps and make sure that we had a really, really good experience on the web first. Also, in terms of the international community, it's easier to kind of build the web app first and have a responsive web app, and then build core components from the ground up in our native experience, both for iOS and Android. So those will be coming shortly after we launch, most likely in Q4 of this year.
What is the user growth pool on the HiLo platform, and what is that going to be used for?
Yeah, so the user growth pool will be to build out our incentive mechanism within HiLo. And so we're adding 2% of tokens to the user growth pool a year. And that's to support growth and the health and longevity of the platform long term. So the user growth pool will be used to both as an incentive and rewards mechanism within the platform. And then so users can use and also spend on the platform. So features that we discussed like private group messaging, also partnerships like the Civic integration to incentivize using other blockchain-based products within our platform is what the user growth pool is going to facilitate long term. So we have a subset of features that we've identified at launch that will use the user growth pool. And then as we build out features and grow HiLo, we're going to be adding new features that we can build in to build out the incentive mechanisms long term.
We talked a lot about the product and the specific features of the product. And maybe we could talk a little bit also about the long-term vision. So where do you see it just in the next like 6 to 12 months and features, but in like 2 to 3 years, how do you see the platform developing and how will it be different than in the short term?
Yeah. So when I think about the ecosystem of blockchain and certainly other projects, we're really early on in this kind of evolution and revolution of new technologies and this new ecosystem. So what I'd love for HiLo to be is the first stop that anyone goes to when they want to learn or be introduced into cryptocurrency. So if your family or friends, Thanksgiving dinner, asking about crypto, the first thing that I want everyone to say is follow me on HiLo. So we really want to help onboard the world into cryptocurrency. So that's kind of our North Star goal, if you will. Now, in terms of in the short term, what we'd love to do is build out an amazing platform that people love and love coming back to, and that they get tremendous value from, and that we can support and elevate other projects within the ecosystem and provide awareness as a platform. So partnerships are wildly important for us. We talk to other companies almost every day. In our system, we're going to have each token has a coin card, and we would love to leverage the community to help us with the content. So if a project has, it'll have the project's team, it'll have a little chunk about what the project does and how to earn and spend rewards or tokens within their platform. So we really want to work with other platforms to help us provide that content to our user base and to their user base. So really integrating with the community on so many different levels is kind of our short-term goal. And long-term vision is, again, let's onboard the world. Let's make cryptocurrency and blockchain more mainstream and have that adoption tied to it. So that's our long-term vision and goal. Short-term is how do we be a platform of choice for anyone who's entering the market?
And where are you guys based out of? And where's your team? Are you distributed? Are you all located in one location?
Our team is actually distributed. We have a global team. We have engineering team in Europe. We have engineers in Tennessee. We also have a big chunk of our company is in LA and also San Francisco. We're very much a distributed team, and we are hiring out of all locations. So we do have a team and positions up on our angel list and also on our website. So if you're interested in crypto or blockchain or what we're doing as we build out HiLo, you can go ahead and drop us a line.
Well, I think we covered a lot of stuff. We covered everything about the platform. We covered the current development, so where you are in your timeline. So we have the next couple months with the release of the closed beta and the beta, and then getting user feedback, and then the ICO at the end of August. So HiLo has 2 advisors from the Bounty Zero X team, myself and Dennis, my co-founder. And we're really excited to be advisors on the HiLo project. And we think it's a great team, and they're going to develop a great project, a great product. They're also going to be holding a bounty campaign, the date of which is yet to be decided. where users who participate in the bounty will be able to earn HiLo tokens in exchange for completing bounty tasks. And so we will add a link below to the bounty campaign once it launches on the Bounty 0x platform for HiLo. So we are excited to let everyone know and make an announcement when a date has been decided for the launch of the bounty campaign.
Yeah, we're very excited to work with you guys. 0x. We think that we're going to get a large international network from creating bounties. And so that's one way we're working with you guys. So we're excited to facilitate those bounties and have global communities participate in the evolution of HiLo. So we're really excited to work with you. And we'll be launching those bounties within the next week or so. So look out for those bounties, and they will most likely be one per country. So if you're listening to this and you have a community that you want to evangelize HiLo to, go ahead and sign up for the bounty.
So my guest on the show today is Monica Puchner. Monica, thanks for coming on the show and discussing HiLo. We're happy to have you on and looking forward to see the development of the platform over the coming weeks and months. Where can listeners go to learn more about the project?
Yeah, so go ahead and go to HiLo.io and you can sign up for a beta, learn more about our project. We also have a Telegram group that you can go to Telegram. The links are all on our site. We also have a bunch of articles on our Medium blog, which also is linked to the site. So HiLo.io will have all of that. And thanks.
Monica, thanks for coming on the show, and we look forward to hearing about HiLo and upcoming developments in the future.
Thank you, Angelo.
Thanks. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Bounty 0x podcast. Please remember to subscribe to our podcast below. Check out bounty0x.io, the #1 bounty hunting platform where you can complete work and earn cryptocurrency. Please consult your professional financial investment and tax advisors before making any investment in initial coin offerings. Bounty 0x does not provide investment or financial advice and does not endorse or recommend investment in any ICOs advertised on the Bounty 0x podcast or website.